Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy, and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health, one topic at a time. So I'm well into week 2 after my suspensionplasty and tendon transfer. I have a cast on. This is a fancy cast cover. I'm going to show you the cast underneath it in just a moment. I'm going to talk about this cover. So the cast went on at the end of last week. It stays on for a total of 3 weeks. So I dropped one of my items here that I'm going to share with you. Stays on for a total of 3 weeks, so I have 2.5 weeks left to go, and after that I will get a custom splint. So is the cast bothering me? Not as much as last time. I definitely have a couple of little sore spots, but what I've noticed is, and this is kind of a litmus test, it's bothering me more like at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. So that's when there's no other distractions or anything else going on. So some of that's up here and has to do with distracting myself and trying to think of something else. My doctor is really nice. The surgeon that I went to for this side has just been really understanding, and I feel like I have a good rapport with him. And he let me know anything that bothers you, let us know and we can try to address it, see if we need to change anything. But, I could also go in and get this thing changed out, and then something else will be sort of bothering me. So I'm trying to take a more nuanced approach to it and not be motivated out of, oh, I feel something and I'm scared about it now. I'm trying to just be a little more have a long road, sort of the big picture attitude about it. And overall, this experience has been so much better than my previous hand. And I'm so grateful, not only just for that, but simply because this is my dominant hand. And I think it's unlikely to get away with having an easier, more comfortable experience on the dominant hand. I feel really lucky. So yeah, I'm going to talk today about just a couple of things that are helping me get through this. Only one of them I have mentioned in the previous set of videos when I did the other hand last year, and the others are new, but there are a few things. I like to always bring some tips and tricks about what might make this journey easier, because it is really hard to have your thumb immobilized. Yeah, so I took the cover off. So there's the cast, and this time, it's really down way below this row of knuckles. They made sure to give me enough room alongside the large knuckle, because that's what was really hurting me the last time. So I've got a lot of nice mobility. Even my thumb I thought it was going to be wrapped almost to that first joint right here, but it's not. It's way down low. I think if there's one thing I might be more comfortable with, it'd be getting the thumb a little closer to the fingers. And I thought about, if I asked them to redo anything, that might be it. It's real short, so this thing has just been really easy to deal with. Yeah. So at least compared to my other cast, it's never fun to have your dominant hand in a cast or anything in a cast. So anyway, so here are the few of the things that I wanted to talk with you about that have really helped me, like some of these life-saving tips and tricks. For one thing, flossing my teeth, I remember, was difficult last time, but I was in more of a spica cast where I had a hard area around the thumb, so I could at least like wrap the floss around there, but I can't wrap anything and like pull on this thumb, and even the fingers are a little sensitive. So I had found these little flossing sticks, and I'm going to try to give you a close-up there. They sort of look like a little slingshot, and each one has a piece of floss on it that is really heavy duty. So if you have any like tight areas that sometimes you have to be careful not to break the floss, and you have to be, careful with just enough tension on it. I have not broken one of these yet in one of those tight spots. So I think these have really been helpful to me. It says it's extra strong floss. Now, I got these from my dentist, but I'm going to look up and see, where you might find these. I'm sure I can find them on Amazon or something like that. They are nice and minty. The only thing is that the apparatus itself, minus the floss, is a little bit wide, and I can't quite get to the very back behind the last tooth or the first space after that on any of the 4 quadrants, okay? Upper, lower, left, right. I can't get there. Fortunately, my husband helps me, but I have kind of a small jaw. And I think that most people, I don't think, are going to have that problem if you're just an average size face with this. And even if you do, it still solves the other 90% of the problem. Yeah, so these sticks for flossing have been a lifesaver. I don't know about you guys, but I find that especially when you're getting up into your 50s, if you have one problem, like, okay, my hand's in this cast right now and I'm recovering from surgery, I think it's really important to start thinking about like not letting other things become problems. Like, not flossing your teeth for a few weeks. Probably could get away with that when you're in your 20s or 30s, but I just have found myself thinking in terms of what other problems might this be causing. Which brings me to the next item, which is CASTCOVERZ. I talked about these in my previous video in my series that I did when I was on the other side. These are a little bit hard to get on initially. You have to kind of pull them over the thumb. I think my cast is just a little bit wide down in this area. So I'm going to show you what I do. And then once I get it over the beginning, I treat it sort of like a sock or like nylons, where you don't always want to be pulling from the bottom. Sometimes I pull it up here to get the thumb in place. And then once I get the thumb in place, then I can usually give it a nice tug. Now it is quite a bit bigger, so it extends a little longer than the cast, and it also extends here higher than the cast and covers these knuckles. So sometimes I tuck this in and I get like a nice layer of smooth fabric that's kind of lining my hand, and that's sort of a nice thing. If it comes out, I don't worry too much about it. Now, one of the nice things I like about this, well, actually there's two things. Speaking about other problems, this cast material is very rough, and it will pill all your clothing. It will ruin like a throw pillow if you put your arm up on a pillow, or you rub the cast up against your sofa or something. And this is just a nice, smooth, stretchy fabric, and so it's saving other things in my house from being destroyed by this cast. The other thing is, a cast is just inherently not very hygienic, right? So, I mean, even though I do my best, I have a shower cover for the cast, and of course I shower and I clean as well as I can, but this is just not a very hygienic thing. So, you know, I can put this cover over it and keep it cleaner, as clean as possible underneath there. And then this comes off and I throw it in the wash, and I have 3 of these, so I rotate them. So I really am enjoying these cast covers. I get a lot of compliments on them, and sometimes I don't think people really know what it is, and they don't realize. I tell them, oh yeah, it's covering my cast, and I show them like a little peek, and they go, oh, there's a cast under there. I don't know what somebody thinks I'd be wearing this for, but I get so many compliments on these. They're all like pretty loud. I don't think I remember seeing anything that was like nice and subdued and quiet, but you know, that's fine. I really am enjoying these cast covers. One other thing that I didn't have last time, because it was just put out in the last few months, is Sonovia. Our friends at Sonovia make linens. Now, I've talked about that. This is actually a new set of pillowcases I just bought. I decided I'm going to have a set of these for when I travel. And so these are going in a suitcase, and they're just always going to go with me when I travel. I tried the Sonovia linens when they first came out, and I did a full review on them here on my channel, and I love them. Now, I know there's been kind of a love-hate relationship some people have had with the masks, and I think first of all, the virus that the masks were there to address has evolved, and the new variants are highly aerosolized, and also technology has evolved, and polypropylene is more plentiful and things like that. And I think most people are not using something like a Sonovia mask as the one and done mask, given if their issue is the pandemic. I sometimes will use it as a topper for its superb antimicrobial activity. And by the way, its antimicrobial activity is second to nothing. So I tried their linens when they first came out, and I absolutely fell in love with them. And not to mention the price point, because even when they're not on sale, a set of king size sheets, which comes with a fitted, a flat, and 2 king size pillowcases, so that's a 4-piece set, is just right around $120 or something like that. And they often have sales, and we do have our coupon code, which is Sandy10, or SAFE10, excuse me, SAFE, S-A-F-E, SAFE10 for 10% off. But I'm going to talk to the folks at Sonovia and see if I can't get something that's specifically for the linens that's maybe a little better price point. Now, they recently had a 40% off sale going on, so I got an extra set of linens, like I said, and a set of pillowcases to take when I travel. I mean, a king sheet set was, came in at around $65. It was crazy. I personally like the less expensive of the 2 kinds. They have a percale. They also have a sateen. Sateen is just a much heavier kind of sheet, having the higher thread count. And some people think of a lower thread count as somehow lesser quality. I don't agree at all. And I love the fact that they stay so nice and cool. I don't have to wash these very often. I've come to the point where I wash them about once a month when I have them on my bed, because the material is antimicrobial itself. So it's self-cleaning. I used to do it about once every 2 weeks, and I thought, if this lasts 55 washes, and my guess is it lasts longer, especially if you're treating it gently, washing it gently on cool and whatnot. But that would give it, if you counted it, 55 washes, a little over 4 years. And it's working really well for me. And I have noticed that my skin is behaving so much better in several months now that I've been using the Sonovia linens. So they can pry these out of my cold, dead hands. I absolutely love them. And even if it isn't for this issue, I really can't recommend enough that you check out Sonovia's linens, because I just think it's a genius idea, and they're working really great for me. I love them. And then the other thing I have to say is just more of a suggestion about making sure to exercise or keep moving or just modify. Yeah, I can't do like really tough aerobic exercise with this cast. First of all, I worry about my balance, and perspiring is a nightmare inside a cast, and then you get itchy and it just feels gross. But I do make sure to do what I can. So I do some of my weight work with my ankle weights. My husband helps me get those on. I do some yoga. Of course, I have to modify and I can't do a down dog and things like that. But just so that I don't get stiff, because at my age, if I just were to sit around with this thing, like even like I had to do just the first couple of days, my back was hurting, my hip was hurting just from all the sitting around and being sedentary. So I do try to keep moving. As soon as this cast comes off, I'm getting in the water because I find that water, moving things through water is so healing. But for now, I am pretty much doing some modified weight work on my legs. I am going out and walking now early in the morning before it's warm, and I am doing yoga and modifying a lot and just making sure to move my joints through their range of motion. So I can't recommend that enough. Please, if you have some tips and tricks yourself that have helped you get through this, or if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I'm always happy to engage in that. Let me know how you're doing, because several of you are on this same journey right now. You've been communicating with me. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.